Hello, people. What is up? It is your boy, Tanner, back at it again with another video. I think today I want to do a new series. Something interesting. Fantastic, even. So, the whole point of this series, as the title might suggest, we are going to get high and talk about one of my favorite subjects, history. So, that being said, I am smoking head cracker, indica marijuana from the Rise Dispensary in Meadville, PA. Pretty good shit, honestly. I'm gonna load it into the Bingus right now. And then we're gonna do the thingy. Today I wanted to talk about the American Revolution today. What a place to start, right? I feel like that'll be a great subject to get into. Anyway, you could smoke along with me if you want. I personally wouldn't recommend that, but yeah, you do you. We do not endorse or condone anything. As always, we love you. It's pretty nice. Oh. Oh. Okay, so first I want to say fuck Thomas Jefferson. But this video ain't about Jefferson. Fuck. Let's talk about Washington. Washington was such a failure, my guy. He was the biggest failure. We make fun of, like, Joe Biden and, like, other people for being a failure, but there's nothing like our first. There's nothing like our first. George Washington was just known for being a failure. And basically, the only thing keeping him in the positions that he was in was his power, his money. He was the wealthiest president on earth. Still is. Or the wealthiest president in America. Still is the wealthiest. His wealth is outstanding. Think we're talking billions? Billions. Dude was rich. There's pretty much every founding father hated Washington too. Madison talked about how incompetent he was. John Adams hated him. So did Thomas Paine, writer of Common Sense. Really, one of the few people that actually liked him was Thomas Jefferson. That's pretty much it. One of the famous stories about George Washington is he pretty much started the 7 Years' War. He was delivering a message, I think, to Fort Duquesne. I forget where it was specifically, but he was going from Presque Isle, or Fort LaBeouf, I think, to maybe Duquesne to deliver a letter. He had to deliver a letter. But what happened was he ended up killing French soldiers. And then he blamed the natives, which caused the British and French to get mad at the natives. Meanwhile, Washington just scoots away and it's like, it's whatever. It's whatever, right? Then there's the other story of him traveling along French Creek in a cold day. The creek freezes, but it was still just enough for him to go, of course. And he fucking falls in the creek. He falls in. He nearly dies. George Washington was just an abject failure. He was like like, honestly, there's no one to compare him to. He was a fail son. He was, if a lot like Hunter Biden, but if Hunter Biden was, like, the first president, right? Dude just fails all the time. Does a few okay things. And it's not even talk about George Washington evading, him having to get rid of his slaves. So Pennsylvania passed a bill in, like, the fucking 1700s that was like, hey, no more slaves. Slaves are bad. Washington, who had a bunch of slaves who lived in PA, would literally transport them out of state lines just so he could keep his slaves. That's, like, what the fuck, dude? Imagine if, like, the President of America today had, like, a bunch of slaves and was just like, I am going to move them from here to Mexico to back. It's like, no, bro, but we just, nope, that just happened. It's whatever. Oh, man. Then there's, like, my boy Thomas Paine, right? Thomas Paine was just such a mad lad. Dude, Thomas Paine, if he was alive today, there is no doubt in my mind. You know how we, like, always say, oh, what if, like, Jesus was a socialist? Thomas Paine would have literally been a communist, and I mean this in the most literal, apolitical sense, because the type of democracy that he advocated for was the type that the natives used, which was literally real-world, actual communism. They lived in communes, tribes, but they had a consensus democracy, actual communism. But, hey, it is what it is. Thomas Paine was the most based dude. And, like, he wrote so much on how much he hated Washington. Because you have to understand, the American Revolution, for the most part, had very little support in the colonies. Because, think about it, right? For the average colonist, life wasn't that bad, really. Really, it wasn't. But for the rich landowners, they were getting pissed. They were getting pissed. And there's always been this class divide in America, right? But the rich had to convince the poor, as they always do, to fight. And Thomas Paine, who, while rich, was not as rich as the other founding fathers, had and wrote a lot about, like, the working class concerns for, like, the working class concerns during the Revolutionary period. He wrote, like, that's pretty much what common sense was. Not pretty much, that's what common sense was about. It was a working class spin on democratic ideas. Right? He's just so based. He's so based. Thomas Paine, best founding father. Didn't own any slaves as well. Pretty poggers. Pretty cool. Dude, there's just so much. I could just imagine, I wish we kept the 1700s drip. I wish we just still kept the tricorn hats. Like, dude, imagine, like, going to work and being like, hello, I'm clocking in, as you're dressed like Paul Revere or something. Oh, that'd be so fun. Anyway, I think I'm gonna log off for today. This is Tanner. Y'all have a good one. Arrivederci. Bye!